Excellencias,
Ваше превосходительство, дамы и господа.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen,
les saluda Rebeca Pérez.
my name is Rebecca Perez. I'm an ambassador in the United Arab Emirates and the vice president of this council. I'd like to thank the president of the Council from the United States of America for inviting me to preside the deliberations of today on his behalf. Thank you very much. I declare open the second day of the 26th meeting of IRENA Council. I now invite the Council to turn to the agenda item 6, reinforcing the climate action, agriculture, and health and renewable sectors. In preparation of the debates for these matters, we have handed out some background under the same title, and it's in the document C/26/BN1. Next, I'd like to invite the General Director to introduce the subject matter.
So, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, as we are gathered here today, the world is confronted with the pressing global challenge of climate change, a phenomenon that affects vast populations across the globe, especially those in low-income countries. The Global Development Agenda has underscored the importance of delivering outcomes on the environment, food, agriculture, and health as key priorities for action. It is well known that the lack of access to modern energy services disproportionately impacts the life and livelihoods of low-income communities. Alarmingly, projections indicate that 660 million people will lack access to electricity by 2030 at the current electrification rates. To reverse this trend, investment must be made to expand energy access, especially in critical sectors such as agriculture and healthcare. Around 20% of the world's energy is consumed within the agri-food value chains, primarily relying on fossil fuels and contributing significantly to greenhouse gas emissions. It is estimated that 58% of health facilities in low-income countries lack electricity, affecting the quality of health services. As we press forward in our pursuit of a greener and more sustainable future, we cannot overlook the critical opportunities presented by renewable energy in transforming the health and agricultural value chains. By harnessing the power of renewable sources, we not only meet our energy needs, but also significantly reduce our carbon footprint. This energy transition is imperative in addressing climate change and securing a healthier, more prosperous future for generations to come. IRENA has, over recent years, built up analysis around the nexus between agri-food and health. We are pushing this a step forward with the Empowering Lives and Livelihoods Renewable for Climate Action initiative, to be launched at COP28 to support livelihoods, enhance climate resilience, and foster sustainable green growth for local community and business. While political will, effective policy, and capacity building are central pillars to increasing renewable energy access, the lack of appropriate financing, especially in developing countries, remain a critical barrier. Financial products in this region often come with an unreasonably high collateral requirement and interest rates. Facilitating access to finance is the cornerstone of this initiative. Adequate funding is essential to drive research, innovation, and implementation of renewable energy solutions. By easing the financial barriers, we can unlock the potential of entrepreneurs and innovators, enabling them to develop and deploy renewable energy solutions that can enhance agricultural productivity, curb post-harvest losses, empower health facilities, and fortify vulnerable communities' resilience. It is within the global context that ARENA is actively galvanizing support and building partnership with governments, private sector, and non-profit organizations toward the Empowering Life initiative. This partnership will trigger strong action on the ground while facilitating the exchange of knowledge, resource, and expertise, fostering an environmental conducive to innovation and progress. Together, we can pool our resources, mitigate risks, and invest in projects that drive the renewable energy revolution forward. Focusing on less developed countries and small island developing states, this initiative aims to create a large-scale country program in collaboration with our member countries. Crucially, our approach emphasizes empowering women through integration and entrepreneurship throughout the agri-food, health, and energy system value chain. Mindful of our mandate, ARENA, in collaboration with the UAE, has been working and will work closely with regional and country-level partners to facilitate the implementation of specific country intervention in the agri-food and health sectors. By supporting renewable energy solutions in the health and agriculture sectors, we are not just investing in infrastructure, we are investing in the resilience of our planet and the prosperity of our people. As we are gearing up for COP28, I invite you to join in this transformative initiative to empower life and livelihoods. Through this endeavor, we seek to deliver equitable benefits and bolster the resilience of communities on the front lines of climate change. As we embark on this journey together, we hope that today's programmatic discussion will help enable strengthening and continuous cooperation with your countries and organizations. As we move forward, concretizing our effort and translating our aspiration into tangible action, making a real difference at community level where it matters most. With your permission, Madam Chair, I wish to give the floor to Gurbus for his presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chair. Thank you very much, Director General. Good morning, everyone. I'm very pleased to share with you some insights into ARENA's work in the area of renewable energy for productive use and provision of essential social public services in connection with agriculture and health sectors, but with also to give a specific focus on this new initiative. Director General already mentioned about it and how we can. I think it's a very good reflection of ARENA's ambition to scale up action on the ground in this area. From different productive uses and services, agriculture and health sectors need urgent intervention due to the granted impacts of these sectors on lives and livelihoods. Director General has already provided some figures, which in turn strongly emphasize the need to make agri-food and health services and products more accessible, more resilient, more productive by integrating efficient, sustainable, and affordable renewable energy solutions. decentralized renewable energy interventions across different nodal points of the agri-food and health value chains. They enhance incomes and improve services, bring innovation, remove inefficiencies and drudgery, and enhance yield and service output while promoting climate resilience. IRENA's work in the area of renewables for agri-food and health has evolved over the years, both substantively, but also geographically, with a view to promoting renewable energy solutions, not only for household energy, but also to stimulate productive use and economic activity and energize social infrastructure like healthcare. This is evident from IRENA's timely call for stronger action on energy health nexus by being the first agency to hold an international conference on renewable energy for healthcare back in 2018. The initial engagements enabled us to develop robust partnerships with key organizations with strong technical expertise in their respective areas, such as FAO, WHO, Selco Foundation, to collectively promote, act in using renewable energy sources for agri-food and healthcare. And these partnerships not only led to a generation of dedicated analysis and knowledge products on a wide range of related topics, but also revealed opportunities for on-the-ground collaboration for a coordinated, impactful action at the country level. That's how IRENA and United Arab Emirates government kickstarted the initiative on empowering lives and livelihoods, renewables for climate action, during the IRENA assembly back in January earlier this year, to translate analysis to actions on the ground. Our ambition is high. We aim to catalyze a systematic energy transformation of agri-food and health sectors, moving from currently piecemeal approach that we consider to a more transformative action by bringing scale and banking on partnerships instead of working in silos. Our ultimate goal is to enable creation of self-sustaining markets in the countries we work with IRENA playing a more catalyzer role, with kickstarter of the market, and then achieve a self-sustaining market in the mid to long run. Although there's a rising attention and action on adaptation, when we go to the ground, there is really a very few initiative, impactful, large scale to address adaptation, especially in this area of energy for healthcare and agri-food. And with this initiative, we try to put people in the center of action, fostering climate resilience of communities with climate mitigation co-benefits. And women is also central to this initiative, given they constitute a large part of the agricultural workforce in developing countries, but also they are very vulnerable, often most vulnerable to poor health services. And in the initiative, we try to work at the country level, developing country programs. And we have three comprehensive components of country programming. Developing and sustainable and efficient renewable energy solutions is the one key element that is to identify those segments of the value chain and which renewable energy solution can be integrated into that value chain as a feasible, viable alternative technical solution. Then we need to develop those corresponding financial solutions that needs to be affordable, because many instances we see that the current terms and conditions for extending loans to farmers, especially in the agri-food sector, they're not really affordable. Not in terms of interest rates, not in terms of the payback period. But these solutions need to be developed at the very local level. That's why we need to develop the complete ecosystem around the implementation to be able to make these programs sustainable in the long run. We need to develop the supply chains. We need to develop the service chains around these programs. We need to engage with entrepreneurs, make them stronger to be able to keep part of this ecosystem of program implementation. We need to work with financial institutions, make them stronger, make them more conducive to receive and fund projects in the agri-food and health value chains. And integral component of the program implementation is adaptation metrics, because currently there are no set of adaptation metrics developed and commonly acceptable by multiple implementing agencies. That's why we need to develop those metrics to be able to measure the impact properly and clearly of our actions on the ground. That is how we are developing key institutions, African Development Bank, World Bank, WRI, RF.
Таким образом, мы можем разрабатывать разные методы и также координируем Ирину для того, чтобы разработать эти координационные методы. Мы стараемся имплементировать в 3 этапах. Первый этап – это чтобы сама страна приняла участие. Мы работаем с разными странами. Это очень важно, чтобы мы достигли полного согласия с
work with the ecosystem. We need to understand and map what is happening on the ground, what other partners are doing, and build on it what is already on the ground and what would be our added value in that area. And we come up with a preliminary assessment report, which also provides an preliminary scoping of our work on the ground. Then we move into implementation. We move into the country program development phase, where we develop the technical solution, financial solution, and comprehensive ecosystem capacity building component, together with a framework for monitoring and evaluation. And we move into the phase 3 for implementation, where more the technical and financial partners take the lead with IRENA coordination, where we try to develop those bankable projects with funding mechanism in place, with as well as the surrounding capacity building activities are taking place with knowledge product support. As of today, we have engaged with 13 countries, from least developed countries as well as SIDS. Many of the countries are from Sub-Saharan Africa, one from South Asia, Nepal, and we have 3 countries from 3 different regions of SIDS as the countries of focus or preliminary focus. Some of them are in the area of agri-food, some in the healthcare area. And we are at the very early stage of the first phase of engagement with those countries, try to scope our engagement to understand the setting and the market better, and to try to formulate our engagement strategy and engagement scope at this phase. And I would like to give you some insights into some of the preliminary outcome coming from those engagements. In the health area, I want to give you 2 examples: is Sao Tome, Principe, and Burkina Faso, where our approach is not a simple electrification of healthcare clinics, but looking into the efficiency of appliances and equipment, looking into the building efficiency, ICT needs of the centers, and come up with a comprehensive solution for that. And we have undertaken this preliminary analysis for Sao Tome, Principe, and Burkina Faso, and you see that for the entire transformation of the health system in Sao Tome and Principe, except 2 big hospitals, we excluded them from the scope. It's around $4.25 million is required to electrify those 38 health centers and posts. And for Burkina Faso, it is around $10 million to be able to electrify with renewables the 779 healthcare facilities, even with the most comprehensive option of services that these healthcare facilities can provide. Turning to agri-food sector, obviously agri-food sector is more complicated, and you have to really look into the quite an comprehensive value chains for each products, and to be able to see where these specific products can renewable energy technologies solutions can be integrated into. You have to understand the key challenges on the ground. And you have to understand which products, which segment of the value chain, and which technology, and which will eventually define the geography that you are going to work with. But at the same time, you have to understand the full ecosystem around it. Who are the financial and technical partners that you can work on the ground to be able to develop those comprehensive programs. Finally, leading up to COP, we have curtain raised the initiative back in January. I already mentioned it. And during the past year, I think the work has advanced in two tracks. One track is the country engagement and preparing the country programs, or the first phase of country programming that we have undertaken in many countries on our list. But then there is also an outreach component, working with philanthropies, governments, both host governments, but also supporting governments, working with financial institutions, also the local partners on the ground, implementing partners on the ground, a quite comprehensive base of partnership we try to develop for launching the initiative at COP. And we are looking forward to organizing it, several activities in the day of the launch, together with bringing together also implementation partners and funding partners for program design session, but also organizing a session of fireside chat and reception on the same day. So we are very much looking forward to expanding the partnership base of our initiative, and looking forward to more governments, more institutions support our initiative and our cause through this initiative. Thank you very much.
Gracias, Director General.
Thank you, General Director and Mr. Gurgus Gunsur. Next, I would like to give the floor for interventions or comments and questions.
Cedo la palabra a España.
I give the floor to Spain. You have the floor, sir.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much. I'd like to thank the Vice Presidency, and I'd like to thank Irina for bringing about this interesting subject matter. There's two sectors that we consider that are highly relevant in Spain. We have a primary sector that is very relevant, and then other areas within Spain and the center of Spain are quite, there's not much population, and these matters are of utmost importance. So in Spain, we're working on implementing public policies that will foster that we should have renewable energy, but we should also continue with agricultural activities. We do agree that the solutions for centralized energy, as was said by Irena, are the best ones for this sector. So the food sector also has to cover demands for this product that has a lot to do with energy, such as fertilizers. We have a very good production of fertilizers with the renewable hydrogen, and it's very good. And other applications that we've seen that are important and we have supported are the renewable heating of greenhouses using thermic energy or solar energy, and the sun, and using electricity support to local populations, among other things. Additionally, I wanted to highlight another project that we have that substitutes energy consumption in the food sector. This industry needs heat around about 100 degrees, and here we use thermic concentrated solar energy. So we see, and answering the questions that you were asking us in the proposal for the subject matter, the measures that we use are usually like budgeted, like the majority that we're looking at, but also regulatory. Thank you very much.
Gracias. Cedo la palabra.
Yes, I'd like to give the floor to Panama. You have the floor.
Estimado doctor,
Dear
estimado
Mr. La Camera, delegates, members of the Council, the Republic of Panama is aware that investing in energy transition will have an important influence in the future of the social economic development of our country. Therefore, we understand that guiding public policies together with the energy transition at the core of this will help employment, social economic development, and the compliance of our climate objectives as well as social well-being. We are convinced that in Panama, the energy transition will pay for itself. As according to a study that we carried out with the United Nations for the environment, for every dollar that Panama invests in energy transition projects, will be able to receive benefits of up to $2 by the year 2030. Also, in our case, investment in energy transition matters will create more jobs. It is estimated that in the short term, we will create about 15,000 jobs, and by 2050, we will create another 103,000 jobs. In the whole economy, when we compare it to the base scenario, in the period 2020-2050, for every $1 million that Panama invests in decarbonization of its energy sector, it is estimated that we will create 2 new job positions. Energy transition offers many opportunities to be able to create a local value chain that is aligned with the industrial objectives, the strategic industrial objectives of Panama. Investing in sectors that have to do with energy transition means that we have to develop our local industry and develop competencies and skills that are necessary in all of the industries to be able to adapt to this transformation. It is essential to bear in mind the current competencies and the strong points of the existing industrial sector in Panama for the development of coherent policies of our labor market that accelerate transformation, adjusting demand to supply. We are convinced that tradition that does not leave anyone behind will avoid any resistance that could become an obstacle. As these renewable energies grow, and energy efficiency and electric vehicles, as well as other sectors that have to do with transition. And as this grows, jobs will also go down in certain areas, such as fossil fuel jobs. However, we are preparing with strategies and roadmaps that are well structured. For example, the roadmap called Women and Energy that was approved in March of the year 2022 in order to guarantee a just transition that will help minimize the impacts on the labor market. As part of this effort, we have created strategic alliances with the educational schools and universities to be able to develop new offers of education that are directly related to energy transition. Also, we are working with our youth in various programs as they can speak out about the importance of the energy transition in our countries. For example, in 2023, we developed the third edition of GDS 7 that other people in young people in Panama will be able to learn hand in hand with other mentors that are from international countries. And this year, the international oratory subjects has as the main subject in the center of it energy transition, which permits us to be able to make our youth study matters that have to do with the energy sector. Thank you very much.
Gracias. Cedo ahora la palabra a Japón. Tiene usted la palabra.
Japan, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. To build a sustainable food system, Japan formulated the strategy for sustainable food systems, Midori, in 2021, which aims to achieve both productivity improvement and sustainability in the food, agriculture, forestry, and fishery industries through innovation. Also, Japan, as the G7 presidency, attaches great importance to food security. And at the G7 Hiroshima summit, together with partner countries representing not only the G7, but also other parts of the world, issued the Hiroshima Action Statement for Resilient Global Food Security. The statement provides guidelines for comprehensive effort to establish sustainable and resilient agriculture and food systems that also take into account the effects of climate change and note the need to support the development of production management that reduce excessive reliance on fossil fuel-based input. We believe that the use of renewable energy sources will be a solution for balancing sustainable food production and climate action. Thank you.
Gracias. Ahora cedo la palabra a Emiratos Árabes Unidos. Tiene usted la palabra.
You have the floor, United Arab Emirates.
Engagement in this very important sector. Renewable energy, as I'm sure most of you are aware, is still extremely underrepresented as a solution provider in the agriculture and health sectors. This also includes the access to clean cooking facilities. The latest tracking SDG 7, the Energy Progress Report 2023, still states that 2.3 billion people have no access to clean cooking. Ladies and gentlemen, as you heard from Gurbus, the UAE is actively supporting empowering lives and livelihood renewables for climate action. Among many things, we supported hosting events in New York on the sidelines of major events such as the High-Level Political Forum and the UN General Assembly to raise awareness and funding support for this initiative. We actually had the initiative highlighted at the Times Square. Agriculture, food and water, as well as health, will play an important role in the upcoming COP28, with thematic days set on health, relief, recovery and peace on the 3rd of December, and food, agriculture and water on the 10th of December. Energy as cross-cutting theme will contribute to both themes with a more focused theme day on December 5th. So, ladies and gentlemen, COP28 under the UAE presidency aims to promote the transformation of food systems to ensure that it's part of the national climate efforts with a focus on improving lives and livelihood, helping unlock green energy potential and ensuring food security. In preparation for COP28, the UAE has prepared and shared with the global community the Emirates Declaration on Food System, Resilient Agriculture and Climate Action that signifies commitment to include food systems and agricultures in countries, nationally determined contributions and national adoption plans by 2030. With the Emirates Declaration on Food System, Resilient Agriculture and Climate Action, we call on national governments to invest in sustainable food systems with several key objectives: reducing the carbon footprint of traditional food systems and minimizing water use. We believe that renewable energy plays a fundamental role to achieve this aim. We thank IRENA once more for their work in this sector. Thank you.
Gracias.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll give the floor to Italy.
First of all, we commend the work of IRENA on this important subject, and I wish to take a moment to share Italy's experience in combining renewables and agriculture. Italy has a long agricultural tradition, and we have been for a long time looking for solutions that can combine efficiency and sustainability, and this is the case of geothermal energy. The first use of geothermal energy for power generation took place in the Italian region of Tuscany, and since the early 20th century in Tuscany, the natural steam erupting from the ground was converted into electricity to power the local industrial machines, creating thereby new opportunities and economic development. Today, we have 34 geothermal power plants that cover over 30% of the electricity needs of the Tuscan region. 6 new plants are being considered as possible additions. More recently, geothermal energy has become an important asset for integrating renewable energies with the development and access to fundamental resources such as food and water. For example, we have a long tradition of using geothermal energy for the development of local agri-food value chain. Turning to newer technologies, we consider the development of the combination between solar and agriculture, agrivoltaic. On one hand, it is essential to spread solar in order to provide us with a clean and widespread source of energy. On the other hand, its combination with the agricultural sector helps us address the dual problem of space and greater agricultural efficiency. For example, the use of agricultural land covers with photovoltaic panels has proven beneficial to protect crops from excessive sun exposure, reducing water evaporation and providing a more stable environment for plant growth. The Italian Recovery Plan provides for a fund of over 1 billion euros for agrivoltaic. These funds will be directed towards implementation of hybrid agricultural photovoltaic systems that do not compromise the use of lands dedicated to agriculture, but rather contribute to the environmental and economic sustainability of the companies involved. This will also help reduce the energy supply costs of the agricultural sector, which today represents a significant part of over 20% of company costs in Italy. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Gracias. Cedo la palabra a Mozambique.
Mozambique, you have the floor.
Good morning. As Mozambique addresses for the first time to the plenary, we would like to congratulate the elected members to conduct our meeting. Regarding the point, Mozambique has the honor to inform that IRENA is finalizing the assessment for Mozambicans' uses of renewable energy in the health sector. The data on demand and suppliers were collected, as well as electrified and no electrified facilities. After the assessment, IRENA will carry out the analysis and technical design, as well the costs involved. Therefore, IRENA will update the national program to facilitate the implementation of the program on renewable for the health sector in Mozambique, one of the most important sectors in the country. Finally, we support the presented document and we reiterate the points 3 and 4. Thank you.
Gracias. Cedo la palabra a...
Thank you very much. I give the floor to Egypt. You have the floor, Egypt.
Thank you. Egypt, since the 60s, used renewables, renewables to produce ammonia and to help industrial and agricultural sectors. It is noteworthy that we are cooperating with a number of partners to promote the production of clean electricity, to cultivate the remote desert areas based on photovoltaic and the use of underground sources according to a planned strategy. Undoubtedly, what you presented, especially the IRENA's initiative, supports Egypt's plan to have this nexus between energy and agriculture. And we do support and commend your generous initiative. Thank you.
Cedo la palabra a Zimbabue.
Zimbabwe, you have the floor.
Muchas gracias, señora Presidente. Thank you. Zimbabwe has a program which we have been doing for a couple of years, where we have been working on rural electrification driven by end-use infrastructure as a way of improving the livelihoods of our rural communities and also increasing access. We would like to appreciate the work which is being done by IRENA now to help us come up with a baseline study which will look at both health and agro-based solutions to our economic development. We are ready to collaborate, but what is most important is to appreciate the fact that as a country, we have been working on solar for health for years with the support of the UNDP. We still have institutions which are not fully powered, and this was an initiative which was quite critical during the COVID pandemic, especially with regards to the cold chain, but also as a way of building resilience from the agricultural side. We have a number of programs. One of them is the presidential program on solar-powered boreholes, where every community and district in rural communities is getting a solar-powered borehole, but also as a way of increasing resilience as part of our response to climate change challenges. And as an agro-based economy, we are increasing the number of irrigation systems which are actually driven by solar systems. So we're looking forward to the partnership, and we thank the UAE for this support. And we believe with that, we'll then come up with a much more sustainable energy use, which will help improve the livelihoods, where we will not leave anyone behind. Thank you.
Gracias.
Thank you. I'll give the floor to Sutwani.
Tiene usted la palabra.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Eswatini supports the initiative of reinforcing climate action in agri-food and health value chains with renewable energy. This initiative will surely improve the universal energy access for countries. Access to adequate, reliable, affordable, and sustainable energy by 2030 is one of the key elements of the Eswatini government's targeted development programs, aimed to improve the livelihoods of rural communities through the establishment of small to medium-scale income-generating activities, improved health from the use of clean energy, and clean water supply using energy to pump water from boreholes. Access to renewable energy can really be transforming, and the fact that the people are willing to pay, they just do not have the means to invest. To further improve the quality of supply in Eswatini is considering off-grid solutions such as solar home systems, and water pumping systems for the rural communities. Mini grids frameworks are also being developed, and we want to include the productive use of energy by the communities. This IRENA initiative of bringing agriculture, food, and health together is then creating additional revenue for the people. These linkages could certainly lead to almost viable off-grid solutions. Eswatini has established a rural electrification fund to fast-track access to electricity and also to incorporate off-grid solutions. We are currently at 82% national access to the electricity. What is key is that entities tend to compete with each other, so there is need for a properly coordinated approach on this initiative for both financiers and also government entities, such as sort of like a packaged approach. And we should stop working on silos as departments and institutions. Eswatini is really looking forward to the rollout of this initiative. The success of this initiative will, however, depend on all of us. It will require a proper coordination amongst the institutions responsible for energy, health, and agriculture. Thank you.
Gracias. Cedo ahora.
Thank you very much. I give the floor to Kenya. Kenya?
Thank you, Chair. Kenya supports the objective of reinforcing national actions to address energy, agriculture, and health nexus through deployment of sustainable, efficient, and cost-effective renewable energy solutions into the agri-food and health value chains, as well as objectives of the Paris Climate Agreement, particularly in the context of climate action and empowering of lives and livelihoods, primary production, processing, and storage, and for raising productivity and income, reducing food losses, enhancing resilience for farmers and agri-enterprises, smart agriculture, electrification and health facilities, and stakeholder engagement to support integrated energy planning. Kenya continues to thank IRENA and other stakeholders for the ongoing collaborations, and we take this opportunity to invite IRENA and other stakeholders for technical support in enhancing the development and technological transfer in all these sectors. Thank you.
Gracias. Cedo ahora la palabra a la Federación.
Thank you very much. Give the floor to the Russian Federation.
Благодарю господина председателя.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for the opportunity to speak at today's session of the Council. For the Russian Federation, the effective introduction of renewable energy sources into agri-food production chain is an important task indeed. At the same time, the share of costs for the production of electrical energy for agricultural producers in the overall cost structure is not significant, in amount only about 2% in our balance. We have launched a micro-generation support program for farms and citizens, which allow them to purchase electric energy and offset the costs of installing renewable energy facilities. In key agricultural regions of Russia, renewable energy sources are actively developing. Stavropol region, it means 775 megawatts. In Rostov region, 607 megawatts. In Kalmykia region, 450 megawatts. In Altai Republic, 120 megawatts are the key regions for the agricultural production in Russia. The Russian Federation will continue to pay much attention to the development of this area in the country's energy balance of our country. Thank you for your attention.
Gracias. Cedo ahora la palabra a Nepal. Tiene usted la palabra.
Thanks, Madam Chair. Nepal depends on agriculture around a quarter of its GDP. More than 2/3 of its population depend on agriculture for the livelihood. However, due to adverse impact of climate change, the productivity of our agro products has been badly affected. Flash floods, outbursts of glacial lake, drought, and incessant rains all have not only led to the uncertainty in production pattern, but also made the livelihood difficult. And the most adversely affected by all these calamities are the women, who have not only to manage their households, but also to work in the fields outside due to excessive migration of their male members of family. In such situation, the role of renewables to ensure a smooth supply of clean energy for the use of technology, production, storage, linking to the market, and identifying value chains are of utmost importance. It will ultimately lead to the increase in income and will ensure food security. The rise in Nepal's ranking in Global Hunger Index in a recently published report also substantiates this fact, though still we need to travel a long road. The cooperation with our development partners in this regard is of utmost importance, not only in agriculture sector, but also ensuring food security so as to have healthy population. In this regard, we believe that our cooperation with IRENA will be instrumental in helping our agriculture and health sectors. IRENA is supporting Nepal through sectoral assessment on renewable energy for agriculture and food sector. The assessment includes identification of value chains of high economic and nutritional value and finding renewable energy into points to energize and bring mechanization across value chain. The assessment will also include technical designs and need for investment to promote use of clean and renewable energy in the selected value chains. It is pleasing to note that based on the assessment, IRENA plans to develop a detailed country program to facilitate implementation in the next phases. Thank you.
Gracias. Cedo ahora la palabra a Bélgica.
Give the floor to Belgium. You have the floor. Thank you.
Thank you very much. First of all, Belgium is delighted with the work that IRENA has already carried out regarding the integration of renewable energy solutions into agri-food and health sectors. The realization of these efforts with the launch of the initiative on empowering lives and livelihoods, Renewables for Climate Action at COP28, is an important step forward. To answer more concretely, Belgium proposes several actions to contribute towards defining commitments, goals, and actions to effectively deploy renewable energy in agri-food and health value chains. For example, stakeholders could adopt water energy food ecosystem nexus as a more integrated and intersectoral approach, and they could stimulate and enhance inter- and intrasectoral coordination of governmental agencies, including private sector and energy sectoral associations, to improve and expand energy access through renewables. These initiatives should be supported by providing capacity building to central and local government agencies, municipalities and communities, and by promoting and improving the sustainability of decentralized renewable energy technologies, and by identifying energy solutions adequately addressing community needs. It is also relevant to distinguish between renewable energy in agri-food value chains and in the health sector, because they need different approaches and appropriate solutions. Indeed, agri-food value change, which is implemented with productive use of energy solutions, will rely on a market-based approach. It therefore requires adequate business model and an improved access to financial services to ensure durability over time. While Energy Health Nexus is more social use of energy that will highly rely on improved planning and decision-making tools. The challenge therefore consists in combining these two approaches to guarantee energy access on the long term for the whole community. To conclude, I would like to mention one project implemented by Enabel in Senegal, aiming at a transformative agricultural food value chain by stimulating productive use of energy. In order to contribute to access energy for all, which supports inclusive growth and empowers local populations and women in particular, this intervention will focus on productive use of energy and more precisely use of solar energy for agriculture food processing, water pumping and in irrigation or the provision of services that are currently not available locally due to lack of access to energy. I thank you.
Gracias. Cedo la palabra a Bangladesh.
I give the floor to Bangladesh.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, for giving me the floor. Bangladesh is a country of limited renewable energy resources. We have huge solar potential and other potential is not yet assessed. You all know that Bangladesh is a country of land hungry. Most of the land is agricultural land. For food security, we cannot use our agricultural land. In that case, agro photovoltaic is the only way for expansion of solar energy, country like Bangladesh. I believe IRENA will come up with a comprehensive solution for agri-PV. Thank you.
Si no hay más comentarios.
If there are no more comments, I would like to give the floor to the General Director so that he will talk about the matters on the agenda, and to give some general comments about what we have discussed.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thanks everyone for the good discussion we are having. Gurbus has given us an oversight of what we are doing. In this respect, also, he communicated an email address where everyone can join having more information on the initiatives. I also wish to thank, because we didn't do in our presentation, the UAE government, the Walloon government of Belgium, the Germany key for providing funding for this initiative to start working on that. We are also looking for attract funding from philanthropy that could be feeding in this initiative. The initial goal was to get $1 billion of US dollar for funding the activities, and IRENA will work on providing the program, and then all the initiative may be say to be conducted in the context of this work that IRENA is preparing. So I invite you to join the initiative, to provide your comment directly to the office. As we see, this is one of the theme of the UE presidency of COP28, and we will have a specific event in that occasion. And I hope that we can ready to sign the officially the success of this initiative. I think it's relevant. Also, it's my last comment. The balance between the money needed and the impact of this money for putting for providing renewable electricity for the hospital in Sao Tome is 4.3 million. And this will raise many health facilities to work more productively, more efficiently. In all Burkina Faso will be 10 million. And then we'll have 77 facilities having renewable energy and providing services that annual service should be provided, like storage of vaccine, the food, the cold chain, and others. So it's so disproportionate, the cost and the benefit of work in this area. So I think it should be a must be part of this exercise and provided for the one that most needed support to have the support they needed. We can really an impact on the life and livelihood of people, and this is an initiative that really is looking at the essence. Thank you.
Gracias, Director General.
Thank you, General Director. With this, we conclude point number 6 of the agenda of the day for today. I would like to invite the Council to